All right, that's brand new stuff from Pink Cream 69, a tune called Special from the album called Ceremonial. And on the phone is the lead vocalist of Pink Cream 69, the one and only David Readman. David, how are you, man?
Doing really great. Great to be on your show today.
Excellent. Well, David, gotta admit, another great record and a long line of great records from you, so congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. It's been a long time. It's been 18, 19 years with Pink Cream 69, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time, but it's been a string with Pink Cream 69 for you anyway, since you replaced Andy in the band. It really has been a time where the band has grown in a lot of different directions. I mean, if you listen to the early stuff that you were on and then listen to Ceremonial and don't hear everything in between, it's almost like it's two different bands, don't you think?
Very possible. I mean, you know, we've always tried, you know, to make a good record every time. I mean, there is a Pink Cream 69 sound in a way. There's a certain vein, you know, there's a certain way we play our instruments. And I think that's still there. But you're right. If you didn't necessarily follow the way we move through time, you know, experimenting a little bit more with a metal or melodic or, you know, stuff like that, it's possible you might not realize it's the same band. And I think also, you know, my voice changed a little bit too.
Sure. Now, listening to Ceremonial, David, the thing that I notice is this, and it's really not a vocal thing as much as the overall band sound. It just feels like it's a much thicker album than at least the last few records. I mean, listening to songs like Find Your Soul, they just feel a little bit darker than, you know, a lot of the previous stuff, which is a little more upbeat and poppy. Was there something different this time, or am I maybe just reading into that, you know, because that's what I do?
No, I think with this record, we took a long time to you know, finally make the record. You know, we didn't spend the last 7 years making it, but I guess the last sort of half year, a little bit more, we finally got down to, you know, getting it down and recording it and producing it. I think we just decided, you know, let's just make a record. Let's get the best songs that we've got now. Let's make it. We're not going to, you know, worry about it being too metal or anything in that kind of direction. And a lot of people have said, you know, a bit soft or whatever, you know, and we just didn't really think about it. We just knew that we'd make a solid, you know, good record, and if we got a few hits on there, then great, you know.
Sure. Now, at this point in you guys' career, you've recorded, you know, numerous records. It's got to at this point be somewhat routine. So how do you keep it fresh, you know, and keep coming up with new ideas to bring to the mix?
Well, we were lucky in the respect that our bass player, Mr. Dennis Ward, is also a producer working on different, you know, records, mixing, DVDs, whatever. And I think he brings a lot of influences in a way, you know, he doesn't mean to, I guess, but I've always felt this way about the way he works and stuff, that, you know, he brings in different things from different things that he might have been actually working on at that time, you know, and like myself, different projects, different ideas, different concepts, and I think the last 7 years, the break thing really helped us to be creative again. You know, I think we needed that sort of time to regroup and make another record. But to be honest, I love making records. I'm very lucky that I continued to do that, even though, of course, the music business is kind of like, whatever, let's not go there. But that it still happens. I made 2 records last year. I recorded also the Voodoo Circle record at the same time. And I think the fact that I was moving between the different styles and different things that we were doing helped me to be possibly more creative.
Sure. Now, you mentioned that Voodoo Circle record, More Than One Way Home. How did you end up involved with that? It's more of like a project thing, right?
It started out as a project. This is actually the 3rd record with these guys, and okay. The first record was kind of like, you know, in a way, Alec Byrot's you know, sort of like solo record in a way, which turned out to be more of a band project. But to be honest, no, it's the 3rd record. This is a band now. You know, there's a tour planned in May, and basically, we've grown together. Last year we were out on tour in Germany, and yeah, it feels good. You know, I enjoy working with these guys. I've known Alex for a lot longer, when we've probably known each other for about 10, 11 years, you know. But yeah, it's I'm very happy with both records. You know, it's kind of, I would have preferred if they would have come out, you know, possibly at different times, you know, but that's the way it goes, you know.
Sure. Now, do you write with Voodoo Circle as well as with PC69, or no?
I do, yes. I mean, basically with Pink Cream, I would probably come up with finished songs. I guess I wrote 3 or 4 songs with Pink Cream 69, and also, you know, combined with other, you know, members of the band. And with Voodoo Circle, I would come up with, you know, a lot of the melody ideas and basically write, you know, 99% of the lyrics, you know. So, I mean, Alex would generally come up with, you know, with the arrangement and the skeleton of the song, and then we'd meet up and over like a 2 or 3 day period and create the record, you know.
Sure. So when you're writing, do you write to music, or do you? I know vocalists that are both ways. Some write only to music, and others will have just a notebook full of ideas that they've written, and then they'll find music to meet their ideas. Which way do you do it?
I need music, man. I mean, if I certainly don't have this mysterious notebook. It would be incredible sometimes to have that. You know, I have a few sort of things where I can sort of go back to and, this is pretty cool. I could maybe make this work and stuff like that. But no, I need to be honest. I need to get turned on. I need to hear the backing. I need to hear the vibe and the concept of the song, and to write the lyrics about a certain subject and lyrics that sound the right kind of way. I need to know the vibe of the song personally, you know, and that's the best way I work.
Sure, absolutely. Now, you mentioned earlier about the music business, and I just want to ask one quick question about the way it is today, because no secret, it's damaged heavily by downloading, and it almost seems like music as a whole is just kind of devalued compared to 15, 20 years ago. With that said, what keeps a band like Pink Cream 69, or even, you know, other projects like Voodoo Circle, what keeps you actively recording and putting out new records, given, you know, the fact that, you know, there's really not a chance anymore to sell a few 100,000 records?
I think it's because generally, I mean, everybody's got their opinion. I think it's just because, let's be honest, I'm a bit older. I'm old school.
Okay.
As you know, I've got different values, you know, in that respect. I still enjoy the process of making records, you know, and of course the the budget is quite different these days. Quite often you'd have to record at home and, you know, and do it yourself if it's possible. Sure. Things have changed a lot in that respect, but I think above all is, let's be honest, these days you make a record not to make money or to sell millions. It's just it makes it possible for you to go on tour. You know, people buy a record or download it or whatever, and they want to see it live. You know, and I think years ago it was working a different way. You'd sell millions of records and then you could go on tour. You know, but no, I think it's just the whole love of the whole thing, and you know, I certainly don't want to stop making records. You know, but at some point, let's be honest, it's questionable whether it was still possible, you know, for young acts or sort of middle sort of acts to continue to do that.
Sure.
I'm sure that like top acts, you know, attract millions of people or, you know, thousands of people at concerts can probably, you know, continue in some shape or form to make records. You know, I think for me it's a lot about education, you know, unfortunately, which has got lost over the last years, that everybody tends to think that you can watch a movie online and for free, and I think it affects not only music, it affects film, it affects books. Mm-hmm. You know, it affects so many things, you know, and yeah, it's a little bit frustrating in a way.
Sure. Do you see a time when, you know, more or less art as a whole is going to kind of die just because nobody can do it as a, you know, as a full-time creative outlet?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it's going to get that bad. I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't think it will happen in my lifetime, but you never know what's around the corner. I think that if we would have talked like 20, 30 years ago about the music business with the MP3 thing or whatever, downloading, I think probably would have looked at you and laughed, you know, and
Sure.
said, well, you know, I don't think that's going to be possible, you know. But I didn't think that maybe, for example, the book thing, you know, the real book thing, the paper back in the hand would be affected. But of course, that's, you know, been obviously affected in respect of that people copied the book in the beginning on a photocopier, and now, of course, they're trying to take control of that people obviously they've got a copy for themselves and can't necessarily give it a friend, you know. But
Sure.
I don't think it's going to kill it off for good. I mean, it's the human race. We'll find some way. It's not all digital, you know, but of course it's becoming that way. There's no doubt.
Absolutely. Sure. Now, David, I was personally a big fan of your solo record that you did 6, 7, 8 years ago now, and I really like that song, No Peace for the Wicked.
Yeah.
You know, that whole project, just as a whole, it just showed such a different side of you, your voice, you know, as a singer. Do you plan to do more solo records, or is that just kind of something that you did as a one-off, or what?
Well, it's strange because I've done a few interviews tonight and people have mentioned my solo record and celebrated it in some shape or form. Very proud of it, you know, very proud of my solo record. I think the problem is, for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, you make a solo record, it's a very personal thing, you know, and very emotional, personal thing to make a solo record. I couldn't just make something and throw it out there and hope for the best, you know, and I should probably start tomorrow and make a solo record, but I don't know if I'm at the moment, you know, ready to do that. But yeah, I'd like to make another one. I get asked on a regular basis about this, you know. But
Sure.
Who knows? I can't tell you that.
I hear you. Well, moving back to Pink Cream 69, biggest change, you know, this time from previous records is with Kasha leaving the band, core member, original member of the band leaving. What happened with Kasha, and how did the new drummer Chris Schmidt come into the band?
That was really easy. I think it was just a matter of time, you know. I mean, everybody was doing their thing, and quite often it would be the case we'd be asked to do a festival in Germany or somewhere, and Costa just didn't have the time, you know. And we considered asking Chris Schmidt. Basically, he was Costa's roadie for a long time, and I think he even had lessons from Costa back then, years ago, and you know, he knows all the songs. Great drummer, great guy, funny guy. And Costa decided, I guess the beginning of last year, I remember getting the phone call, which really shocked me, and I was very surprised. And but he's, you know, a busy guy, family guy. Mm-hmm. And Unisonic, I think he was playing for a while with Crocus at the drums. Okay. Also tour manager, doing so many things. And I guess he decided, you know, he's going to have to, you know, decide what to do, you know, and we understood that. And it is strange, obviously, leaving one of the founder members of the band in that respect. And we, you know, we all had to make a decision as a band, I guess, you know, what do we do? Do we continue? Mm-hmm. It probably did slow down the process of making this record, but it was real easy decision. Let's get Chris in, no worries, and it was obviously the blessing of Costa as well. He said, look, there's a great guy, he'd be really happy, and would be great for Chris as well, you know, to finally get on. I think he made a couple of records, but I think he's pretty happy with this one, you know. So it was really easy going, you know, no big deal, no big fight or whatever. I saw Costa at the end of last year at a big festival, and he was saying, wow, what a great record, you know. Amazing to hear the band, of course, that he was a big part of, you know, make a record without him being there, and you know, easy going, you know.
Sure. Was it different for you in the studio? Because most people, probably the average person that's never sat in the studio with a band, doesn't realize just how important the drummer is, you know, laying down the foundation for the songs.
Not really, to be honest.
Okay.
We were very different, you know. When we go in the studio, and we've been working this way for a while. Basically, Chris Schmidt played to final vocals, final rhythm. I mean, not the sound that you hear on the stereo, but he would play to not just some rough pilots or whatever. He played to the final thing. When I recorded vocals, I didn't sing to a real drummer or whatever. It was kind of like a very good, very, very laid out, produced demo.
Sure.
And Chris would then come in with his ideas, change a few things here and there. But it's like anything else. Dennis has a vision, and that's what he continues to do. Mm-hmm. And it's different. I hear the difference. There's I think every musician's got a personality, whether it be a singer, a bass player, whatever, mm-hmm. and that personality is not there on this record as far as drums concerned. But I think he did a great job, and nothing to be ashamed of.
Sure, definitely. All right, David. Well, what is on the horizon for 2013 for Pink Cream 69, and for you personally with Voodoo Circle as well?
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be quite busy. A lot of festivals with Pink Cream. We're sort of arranging at the moment. Tour, I guess, September, at least in Germany. And Voodoo Circle, we've just, I think, posted today in May. We're on tour, the beginning of May to the middle of May with Voodoo Circle. And also some festivals here and there for 2013. I mean, myself personally, I do quite a few different things. I do a lot of live work and with different projects. So I'm only happy, to be honest, as long as I'm out there singing, and that's good for me,
Good enough. Well, all right, man. Well, the new album, it is called Ceremonial. The band is, of course, Pink Cream 69. And David, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick the closing track to close the interview. So, what would you like us to play off of the new record, and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
Well, I'd like you to record. I'd like you to play the song Special, if you haven't played it already.
That was what we actually opened the interview with.
You opened it up with that one. Then let's say Big Machine.
Okay, and why that one?
Well, this was a song actually that I actually wrote this song probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was sort of back and forth here and there, whatever. I was going to work with different people doing the song, whatever. And when we came to deciding which songs we're going to make a record, I said, look, guys, this song, I think it's got something. And the song finally made the light of day. A lot of changes. Me and Dennis worked on it. We did different things. Songs about driving fast in a car. And
Excellent.
That's it.
Well, let's check it out right now. It is Big Machine. It's Pink Cream 69 right here on your Classic.